back here on the Rich Eisen Show, one of our favorite guests, the Matchroll himself, with a new contract here on the program. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing great, Rich. How are you?
I'm feeling good, but I cannot imagine what it must feel like for you. What does this contract mean to you, Matt?
Obviously, very excited. One for myself, for my family. It's extremely special. But two, to be a part of this organization, for the next 6 years, and hopefully beyond that, if I'm still going. I heard you guys talking about playing into your 40s, so I'd love to be able to do that. But it's nice to know that there's continuity here. I'm excited about how young our football team is, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. How many good pieces we have on the offensive side of the ball. Great coaching staff and front office. So to know that I'm going into battle with those guys for the next 6 years is great.
So, and I know the usual answer from somebody in a position like yourself is you let your agents handle that whole business. But at what point did you get personally involved in this whole thing?
Really towards the end. Obviously, you have discussions with your agents kind of early on. And then just, I really do. I let, Tom Condon handle that. He does a great job and, works very professionally. Our front office is amazing about it too. Thomas Dimitroff and his staff do a great job with that. This is my third contract I've done with the Falcons, and each one really has gone the same way, where they do all of it, and I get a call when it gets close and let them know, what my thoughts are, and that's how it went down. And I thought the deal itself on both sides was handled really, really well.
So what would the kid picked third overall in the 2008 draft think of this deal, being the first quarterback with an annual salary of $30 million a year? What would that kid think, Matt?
Well, I think he would like it. I think he would like that deal. Yeah. It's amazing. I really, I don't think about it all that much, about how long I've been here or look back too much, but to see how far I have come at certain times and how long I've been a part of this organization, a lot of the really good things that we've gone through during those 10 years, it's been fun, and I'm proud of the way that things have gone the last 10 years.
So let's talk about the future here, and how last year the offense, the conversation about you hooking up with Julio, not as much in the red zone as necessary. The running game didn't look the same with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, the Steve Sarkisian coordinated offense not firing on all cylinders. What do you say to fans concerned about a repeat of last year, this year, Matt?
Well, I think it's not all doom and gloom. I think we did some good things offensively last year too. I think we led the league in third downs, which is huge. That's going to win you a lot of football games. I think you nailed it, though. The first thing, and it's not just connecting with Julio in the red area. It's across the board, all of us scoring touchdowns when we get the opportunity. That's the biggest thing. I think we had, however many chances we had in the red area last year, we didn't come away with enough touchdowns from a percentage standpoint. And so that's got to be the point of emphasis for us this year. We moved the ball pretty well, 20-20 last year, and got the ball into scoring position. We came away with too many field goals. And if you're going to want to be a great offense, when you get your chances to score touchdowns, you got to nail them. And that's where we've got to improve. That's where we've got to get better. And that's certainly the point of emphasis for us during OTAs and minicamp.
And in terms of connecting with Julio Jones, his whole social media going dark scared a ton of people in Atlanta, Matt. What have you connected with him? What was that all about? Is he okay? We good?
I've been able to kind of talk to him. You know what? Everybody has their own feelings on social media. Who had made some comments about that too, of feeling that that's not what defines him, and has the confidence to be able to do something like that, which is one of the things I respect about him most. I'm not a huge social media guy. I do it, enough, but I get where he's coming from that, from that standpoint. It doesn't define who I am as well. So I get it. I get how people could overreact to it too. That's one thing I've noticed being a quarterback in this league is that sometimes people overreact to things. It happens occasionally, but things are good with him. And the one thing I know is we're lucky to have him. That's for sure, because he's absolutely one of the best players in this league. And, I think he's going to have a great year next year.
So his social media activity was more of a stance on social media itself, not his relationship with the Falcons? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you'd have to ask him about that. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that was my understanding of it. And so, that's I don't want to get into speaking for him, but that was my understanding of it.
Okay. And now that you've got a new weapon at your disposal as well from the draft in Ridley, how do you see that working out this fall, Matt?
I think it'll work out really well. I guess I'm, should put on a maroon helmet with a number on the side. I feel like
Roll
I feel like I'm
Falcons.
an honorary Alabama QB with the two guys that we got. So we've got two pretty good Bama guys on the outside, which is fun.
Well, I mean, and that kind of leads me to the way that you overheard the conversation in this hour of the show starting, Matt. And it's kind of weird to ask somebody who's just signed a long-term deal as you have, but you are 10 days shy of your 33rd birthday. So when you see Big Ben say what he had to say about Mason Rudolph, what are your thoughts as a starting quarterback when you hear him say that he does not know why they would choose somebody that doesn't help the team win now, Matt?
Well, again, I don't want to get into the business of putting words in other people's mouths, but from a competitive standpoint, I understand the feeling of, hey, I feel like I'm an established starter in this league, and when you are drafting guys from a veteran player perspective, you're always saying, okay, how can they impact this team now? So I understand that thinking. From a certain standpoint, but you also have to trust in the fact that the front offices of the organization have a plan for all things moving forward. And you mentioned trading Jimmy Garoppolo. I heard a little bit of that before I came on, and how the Patriots used that to advantage for draft picks, whatever it was at that time. So there's a lot of different reasons people do certain things. I will say this. I think Ben has some really good years in front of him. I thought he played extremely well last year and has been one of the best quarterbacks in this league for a long time. So, I think he's still playing at a high level. And so, I get it. He wants to have guys maybe at other positions that they could draft that they could be more utilized on the field.
So how important was veteran help for you when you started in the league?
I was really fortunate. I was drafted here to Atlanta. I had a great backup my first 4 years in Chris Redmond, a guy that had bounced around to a number of different spots, had played a little bit, but had been around some other guys too. And his mentorship, his advice, that stuff was invaluable for me because you just don't know what you don't know when you come into the league. And there's so many variables that are thrown at you. And he really helped me. He really helped me sort through those things and determine what was important, where to spend our time, and what wasn't important, what to not spend our time on.
So is the plan, Matt Ryan, right now, as we were chatting here on the day that you put your Matt Ryan on the contract and 10 days shy of turning 33, is the plan to play into your 40s?
I would love to. And one of the things I'm fortunate of is that my backup is older than me right now. I got Matt Schaub here, who's older
right.
and more grizzled than me. I'm still taking his advice. But yeah, I'd love to. There's so many variables that can come up, whether it's health, whether it's all kinds of different things that can come up throughout that, throughout those years. But I'm doing everything I can to ensure that I can play for as long as I can, taking care of my body the best that I can, and really trying to stay in great shape and trying to stay on top of my skill set, keeping my arm as fresh and as good as it can possibly be. You explore all those avenues to try and be a great player for as long as you can do it.
Okay. So what does the rest of the summer look like for you? Give me the Matt Ryan plan outside of OTAs, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, man.
What do you have?
It's taking care of these two babies right now.
How old are they? How old are they?
They're 2.5 months now. So the boys are 2.5 months, and they're getting big and strong and doing all that stuff and eating and sleeping. And it's fun. It's fun to be a part of that. But trying to make sure that they're sleeping through the night by the time we get to the season. Because, I need my 9 hours of sleep every night.
Yeah, there's no amount of money that can probably guarantee that to happen. I hate to tell, but
you're right about that. Every night's an experience.
But you're getting in there with the diapers, though, right? You're
got to. Okay. 100%. I'm in there, changing diapers, doing everything you can do. I mean, really, it's out of necessity with twins. It's you've got no choice but to dive right in and do everything you can to help.
Okay. All right. What's crazier? Is there a no huddle situation with the changing of the diapers, Matt, or how crazy can that be? It's a little bit nutty, isn't it?
You never know what's going to happen. Each diaper change is a new experience. That's what I've learned.
Take it one diaper change at a time and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Hey, Matt, I've been interviewing you since you came off of campus at Boston College, and this has been I'm thrilled for you, man. I'm thrilled for you. So congratulations.
I appreciate it, Rich. It's always fun to be able to come on with you, and you've certainly been one of the best to deal with throughout my career, so I really appreciate it.
Thanks. And now I just found out there's at least 7-8 more years to go. Maybe you'll outlast me. You never know. We'll see.
You never know, man. You never know.
Take care, Matt.
All right, see you, Rich.
There you go. That's Matt Ryan.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.